Welcome to Invictus Porsche. My name is Basheer here. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about whether you should buy a high mileage Porsche or maybe not. So we've got a Porsche 987 Generation 2 Boxster. This has the 2.9 litre later engine that we find in the second generation Boxsters. So they're based on the similar architecture of the 9A1 direct fuel injections. And before I can actually get into this video and tell you about maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't buy a high mileage Porsche and what you should kind of look out for, don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up. I just wanted to say thank you in advance for watching the video, because you watching this video means we earn from YouTube. We donate that money to a UK registered charity. They're in the process of building a school in Afghanistan, so everybody wins. So thank you once again for the importance of contributing towards a good cause. Now, this Boxster, firstly, from a high mileage point of view, it means in more cases than not, one person has kept it for a very long time because they've done long distance mileages, and this is exactly the case with this. That third owner, so it's got three owners from you, that third owner had it from 24th of March 2018. It's a lot of motorway miles put onto this vehicle, and everything necessary from a maintenance point of view that ever came up or needed doing has been done. And this is another beauty of a high mileage Porsche, because you're getting that use out of your vehicle, and from a return on investment point of view, if you're getting the miles out, you don't mind putting the money in. And if it's a low mileage Porsche, you're always thinking, well, I'm not driving it, why am I going to do the suspension work or the coolant work, or why should I do the PDK gearbox service, or why should I change the front condensers because the car is in my garage? Whereas when you're putting miles on a car, you've got a much freer hat put on your head, where you're like, okay, I've covered 10,000 miles this year. I've got a lot of joy out of my vehicle, and let me now just go away, service the gearbox like it's been. And let me change the front coolant crossover pipes, the alternator, the aircon system has been serviced, the front condensers has been replaced. I mean, practically every serviceable item that could be thought of on this Boxster has been done. And that's because from a thinking point of view, if you're going to drive it, and you're going to put miles on it, you don't mind spending money on it. But in some instances, there could be a low mileage Porsche where somebody doesn't mind spending money on it as well. But more often than not, a lot of the times where people are like, because I'm not using it, why should I spend the money on it? Secondly, a high mileage Porsche, as a matter of fact, in some instances, just drive so much better because it's had the use that it needed to have in terms of the gearbox, the engine, everything is, you know, dry and exactly where it was left at when the car left the factory. Whereas a car that's not had the exact same amount of use and sitting in a garage, those seals dry up, and the suspension and the springs and the little things here and there, there's always something niggling thereabouts there with the vehicle. I mean, unless you are like a proper collector and your car is only ever going to do 4,000 or 5,000 miles from brand new and it's now 20 years old, yes, then it's going to drive like brand new. Otherwise, I think you can't go wrong with a high mileage Porsche. Also, when it comes to the sort of later engines based on the philosophy of direct fuel injections, what I could tell you is there was one on the market that had done, there was a Porsche 911 that was on the market that had done 286,000 miles, and it had a full main dealer service history. So it just goes to show that you shouldn't be afraid of putting miles on a car like that. Now let's just jump onto the next section of the video, which is tell you about the spec. The Porsche Boxster, well, these were introduced in 1997 and kind of saved Porsche. They did an incredible job bringing Porsches into the mainstream market, where pretty much somebody that didn't think about a Porsche bought a Porsche, i.e. a woman, because the older air-cooled Porsches were a bit raw, hardcore, and kind of excluded some groups of people. Whereas the Boxsters in 1997 were an absolute hit. This is obviously a much later Boxster built in 2009. It's finished in this really gorgeous color scheme of basil black metallic with the 18-inch Boxster edition 2 alloys, and I think it works extremely well. On the interior, you've got the leather and the Alcantara combination interior, and overall, the Boxster being the Boxster, it's a two-seat layout. It's mid-engine, with a soft top, so works perfectly both for the winter and for the summer. If I'm working in an office and I'm coming out of my job day, I don't want to be driving away in a Cayman or in a Coupe 911. I want to be in a soft top so I can put the foot down, put my woolly hat on and drive it in the winter as much as I would drive it in the summer. And this is the true beauty of it. And when the sun is shining, oh my God, it is glorious driving one of these. So this is what I would say about the Boxsters. The rest of the spec is the usual xenon headlights. You've got the front boot, you've got the rear boot, so very practical. The inside cabin space will fit up to a person that is maybe 6'4", 6'5". I mean, one of our colleagues is 6'4" and comfortably gets in and out of one of these. And now, this is the big item, the PDK transmission on this. That in German is called Doppelkupplungsgetriebe, dual clutch gearbox. In my point of view, that is probably the best gearbox out there in the motorsports kind of a world, you know, on a sports car. I think that is a phenomenal gearbox. The first, you've got two gearboxes working in parallel. So the first clutch is working off odd numbers, the second off even numbers, and the gear changes and the sort of the wheel to torque, there's no lag, there's no delay. It's so seamless, so precise, and it makes it drive like a lot of fun, you know, without you having to break your back. It also helps combine the PDK gearbox with the later 2.9 litre engine that is based on the 9A1 DFI engines. It gives you better economy as well from an engine point of view, and overall you just get a much fitter and a much more reliable car. Let's just open the doors and show you a little bit more of what it's like on the inside. This is with the roof on. It's nice, clean, tidy. To take the roof off, let's start the car so you can hear the engine. Just press this button there. Press this at the back. Let's bring my cameraman inside and show you the interior space. One minor correction. I said it's an Alcantara and leather interior. That's incorrect. It's actually only a leather interior here. You've obviously got, you also have the upgraded Kenwood entertainment system. So that's very good for navigation, AirPlay, Android Play, you know, CarPlay, and obviously you've got the camera at the back as well. So if I put it in reverse, here's your rear view camera. So works fantastically well. On a cold start, these engines are very raspy, very grunty, but it takes about, I would say, about a minute for the engine to kind of drop from an RPM point of view. It's normally at just over 1 and then comes down to about 900 RPM. And it clocked just over 100,000 miles. So we're at 100,008 miles. Now, all the fun on a car like this is in the driving. So let's find out what it's like to drive. Let's get on the road. Now we're on to the inside of the Porsche Boxster. These are a great deal of fun. I mean, just gotta get the seating arrangements right. We're good and we can fly. Now, in terms of this 2.9 litre naturally aspirated flat 6, you know, known as the Boxster 6 engines, this produces 255 bhp, torque-wise 290 Newton meters of torque. And the 0 to 60 is quick, considering it's a 2.9 litre sports car. That is achievable in 5.8 seconds. And if you're curious in terms of the type of MPG you will get out of this engine, combined, you're looking at 31 miles per gallon. And on the motorway, this is what it's quoted, it's about 43 miles per gallon. I'm not sure how realistic these figures are out there in the real world. These cars aren't solely about the performance numbers and all these values. It's about the fun you can have in one of these. Firstly, it's a Porsche, which means this. It's a great sounding car, and for many of us, getting into one of these is a dream come true. And so many of us work so hard to get into a position and a situation to buy one and to afford one. And in some instances, if you're driving a BMW, an Audi or a VW, that car might have more spec and it might be newer, but it's not a Porsche. And it's not a car that you might have had a poster when you're younger on your bedroom wall. And this is what I guess the Porsche experience really offers. And then being naturally aspirated with a dual clutch gearbox, mid-engine layout, which goes back to Porsche's very, very early cars, going back to the 50s. There's a beautiful sound from that engine. It offers a phenomenal package of practicality, joy from a driving experience point of view, and an everyday car that makes you wake up with a smile on your face to get out and drive it. And let's turn around here. It's a good way to illustrate the turning circle on one of these. Oh. That was at 6,000 RPM in the second gear, 5,000 RPM third gear. Wow. This is fun. I just reviewed a Defender 110 station wagon 5 minutes ago, and that did 0 to 16 14.5 seconds. So, you know, this is at a completely different spectrum to what people are probably used to driving from an everyday point of view. And the cornering and the handling and how planted they are is bringing tears to my eyes. And it's nice to have the upgraded entertainment system here, and you know, you've got air conditioning, so it does have that everyday essential goodies we need in our cars to live and to breathe. But sometimes you could do without all the extra gimmicks and all the extra gadgets and take it back a little bit just to enjoy your drive and enjoy the experience of a Porsche and just have a good time, a good experience of owning and driving one of these from an everyday point of view. And that's exactly what the Porsche brand is all about. And the Boxster, the 911 and the Cayman does that job phenomenally well. And something like the mid-engine Boxster or the Cayman, as a matter of fact, offers much better handling, value for money, and in some instances more fun than the 911, because the three numbers there is a brand in itself, and hence why they cost the premium kind of money they do. And this being at under 15,000 miles, at under 15,000 pounds, yes, it's done 100,000 miles, but you don't have to spend a single penny on tires, discs, pads, on any maintenance whatsoever on this, because everything needed on it has always been done, and it's ready for the next owner to kind of just get into the car, turn the ignition, and have a bit of fun and drive it. So from an owner's point of view, it's got 3 owners from new. The current owner, who is from Ashford, Kent, has had it from the 24th of March 2018, and this is the service book. I mean, it's had a lot of work done as per the service book. You know, you've got 6 stamps on page 1, and then you've got another 4 stamps on page 2, and it's been going to Handaway Motors for quite a number of years, so since 2018. I assume the previous customer purchased it from Handaway Motor Group, and now this is some of the invoices. I mean, you've got to remove front bumper and, you know, renew the AC condensers. You've got the breakdown of the Bosch alternator that was done MOT. This is the tensioner work, the pulley service. Just explains also the front coolant crossover pipes that were done and replaced. And from an invoice point of view, it explains it phenomenally well, what was carried out, exactly how it was carried out, what it cost in total value, and just explain how that job also took place, which goes to show a certain level of knowledge and also a commitment and passion for what you provide and sell. And from a specialist point of view, it means there's a bit more due care that's gone into doing the necessary maintenance work on that vehicle. So a lot of paperwork here on this vehicle, but you know, I do want to say thank you. If you're looking to buy this, it's available, and thank you for watching the video. See you next time. Bye-bye.